welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love once again. Welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, and I am truly, I say this a lot, man. You stick around, tune in at the beginning of it for a few times. You'll hear me say this. I'm excited to get started again today, and thank you. Thank you, to all of you who may tune in, who may join the adventures here and now with me. And sincerely, happy hump day. I saw that, Austin, and it got me chuckling, man, because it's true. Humans, we come up with my generation, the life I've lived through the different cultures and entertainments. Man, from the where's the beef grandma to the camel and the hump day and all of these things is like, holy cows, man. Life is nuts. Today I'm filled with inspiration and ideas again about what I hope to share with us. And then we'll open it up for the conversations. But today the topic, nourishing the heart. Nourishing your heart. The heart of your heart. That's what I'm pointing at today with the topic. Nourishing that part of you that's the magnificence. The love, from where the love comes through. Today, it's kind of simple with me as love in the background of the message today. Live without fear. Want these ideas deep in the subconscious for us all. The idea of Wanderlust Wednesday. This idea, life is about the adventures you take and the memories you make. So travel often and live life with open eyes and an open heart. It sounds so obvious. It sounds so simple, but it's true. And so what I've been doing for myself, and I'm inviting you, encouraging you, be honest with yourself, be true to yourself, and feed your heart with a variety of comforts, a variety of adventures each day. You don't have to go climb a mountain or go slay a dragon every day, but find something to give you a little excitement in your day. Surrender the old away for the chance to rediscover what may be new to you. When we forget things and rediscover things, it's just like they're brand new. So forget the past and rediscover you. Invite the Holy Spirit to lead you. And love the growth, love the journeys along the way of discovering who you might become. Because every day is a part of your life adventure. And life adventures are made in all sorts of different shapes and all different sorts of forms. And that's just if you're a human, right? There's all these life adventures being lived by each of us in different ways. Yet somehow, some way, we all fit together. We don't like to accept that fact, but it's true. I am you. You are me. We're sharing this moment of time together. What a glorious adventure. There's been pain, there's been drama, there's been discovery and forgetfulness, there's been mistakes. There's been all sorts of things that happened in the past that brought us into today. So what we create today, we can recreate the past with old routines, old habits, old relationships. And sometimes those are great. Sometimes they're not. So it's up to you. What is your heart calling you to do? Where is your heart leading you? beyond the mind's. The mind can come up with an infinite realm of excuses and obstacles. The mind is very creative and imaginative, so give yourself credit. If you've been holding yourself back, it's because you've been pretty inventive. you found you found excuses that sounded good enough to be believed. When I'm talking about you, I'm talking about things I've done, things I did to myself. Man, I was cruel to me. And I see a lot of others being cruel to themselves and to each other. And it's simply because their mind is confused. People don't actually want to be cruel. They may hurt others, but it's for twisted desires. I'm getting myself off track here. So here, I'll bring us up to speed. The Talcottian adventure, it continues. Praise God, I'm knocking on doors and introducing myself, sometimes in awkward and inappropriate ways. I think I did that yesterday. After our live stream here, I found my way to a Zoom call put together by the national organization, Veterans for Peace. And I didn't pull anything up, but they had a guest speaker last night speaking about the threat of fascism and the growing divide in the culture of America. The speaker was a man I learned from back in I think it was 2018 when I met him before the first time, Dr. Bill Fletcher Jr. The class I met him with before, he was teaching about the history of racism in politics and economics. Really opened my mind and my heart. So back to last night, he was speaking about the culture and the climate. You know, Donald Trump being sworn in, and wars are continuing. And what does this mean to the peace movement? What does this mean to the people like us? So I did what I did. I introduced myself and I asked the question, how do we unite, right? How do we create this world without wars and secrets? All the evidence is there. In doing so, I I mentioned I brought up myself because of some of the other speakers. The Veterans for Peace organization, who I truly do promote, they're working towards working with labor organizations, and specifically the American Postal Workers Union was brought up in discussion. And Mark Diamondstein, a man who I have met, I've been in his office. He should remember, he should know my face. But anyway, praise God. To the point, Jack's adventures are continuing. I'm prayerful that my inappropriate or kind of clumsy introduction, I'm hopeful that it may open up doors of connection through the organization of Veterans for Peace, because peace is my purpose. When we find peace, we know love. When we know love, we have peace. It's really that simple. And in my life, God has allowed me to learn a lot of things. I've made a lot of mistakes. I still make mistakes, lose track of the moment, get caught up in ideas in my head. That's what happened last night. Oh, yeah. And then after that, I literally had missionaries, right? LDS church missionaries. I had a couple of fine young men here in my living room sharing fellowship. I tried to explain to them what God was doing with me, what I was doing with my efforts to share my love of God, and, trying to find any sort of attention here in Spokane. It still hasn't happened, man. It still hasn't happened yet. Not yet, but the time is coming. The time is coming, because back to some of the ideas with this, that image of me, that's an earlier me, and there's a story behind that image. Um, it's over on the coast of Washington, and my adventures are continuing. So for those who have been a part of this, tomorrow is a day of travel for me. So tomorrow's live stream I may be hit and miss with, and tomorrow being Friday, but Saturday, Sunday, I likely will not be streaming. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What day is it? It's Wednesday. Yes. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I likely will not be doing the daily live stream. Tomorrow it will be, assuming I get it together, it'll be at a different location, at least for me. But I'm thinking the same time, same station should work tomorrow. We'll see what happens. I'm excited. So with that, I've been talking about me. Tomorrow I'm heading to Los Angeles, and there is an opportunity that's been afforded to me, generously afforded to me, um, for a master's in transformational techniques, mastery in transformational tools, something like that. I not doing it justice, but yeah, tomorrow I am going to continue my development. My hope is also to, receive the breakthrough from my mind that's missing. What am I doing that's still allowing me to continue my self-sabotage? I say this as I've got snafu snaps in the back already. So, yeah. So here, but for those who may wish to join, the idea today, nourishing the heart. How do you nourish the heart? Well, you do and see things that bring your heart comfort. It's easy to comfort the heart even when the heart feels broken. It's easy. The path is simple. It's all the same. It's to overcome the disorder. It's to move past the negativity, to breathe in the peace. So my hope, yes, I'm going to be attending, and my hope is honestly to establish some professional connections as well, because um I have great ambitions. I have great ideas for what the future's going to bring us. And see, Frank, you get it, man. Kindness, courtesy, mutual respect, sincerity, love, and live without fear. That's truly the only way for us to live. Because break it down and think it through. What's the alternative? Each of us has the opportunity to live with kindness or not. We can be unkind. How much do you appreciate people who are unkind? Personally, I don't. I don't respect and I don't appreciate who are people who are just callous and cold and uncaring. Praise God. That reminds me of one of my thoughts from earlier. The sense. See, what I'm offering, it makes sense to me. The topics, what I'm saying about God and ending wars, ending secrets, working together to overcome excuses and blame. The whole idea of working together, period, to get the goodness done. Why did I bring that up? I know I'm not alone in these ways of thinking. I know I am not alone. Well, see, this is where I'm wondering. The man behind Snafu Snaps, he's clearly calling out for help. And I'm a man who can help him.
Actually, I just want to educate you all online. For the last 5 years, when I said I knew Mike Strutton, Marfugel's co-host, who is the vice president with Oracle and
Snafu,
social media
please,
relations. No, did you not
please
hear what
pause.
Trump and Oracle are doing now?
No.
Operation AI backs your ass. Stargate.
Stop,
No, I'm
stop,
serious, dude. I knew the players in the
stop.
game. I talked to them for
Snafu.
years, and
Okay,
now Oracle
stop.
is with
Snafu,
Trump on.
snafu, snafu. What you have is absolutely irrelevant if you're not willing to be calm and communicate. Because if you're just going to start rattling things off again, then you're wasting
Look,
both of
why
our
would
time.
look, you guys discredit me. Who's Mike Strutton, Marfugel's co-host? I told you
Hey,
from day one.
snafu,
That was Oracle's
snafu.
vice president of
Look
social
at,
media
hey,
relations.
my, please, you're right. You've been pointing that
Right,
out
right,
for
right. And
quite a while.
who did Mike Strutton's boss
Snafu?
standing next?
Holy crap, dude. You're so confused. Snafu, you need to look at you. You're desperately trying to prove yourself right. And what I haven't seen you do is admit where you've been wrong. At least not with me. So here, Swede, see, this is why you're so confused. I don't love Trump. He's failed. As far as I'm concerned, he's untrustworthy, he's a liar, and he's very disrespectful. No, I don't love Trump so much. So you are quite confused, my friend. And if you get past your confusion, we'll get along just fine. And the thing is, if you just stop trying to insult me, and we can get along just fine. Praise God. I believe that's the simplicity of God. Be good and trust that God is with the good. God is there for the good. So, what is good? Well, if you think running around accusing people and fighting people, attacking people, if you think that's good, you're out of your mind, snafu. We have many things we agree on, snafu, regarding perspectives of the world. You have the opportunity to be great. I'm inviting you to become great with me.
Jack, I'm already great. I'm not delusional like
Okay,
you.
well,
I'm a
hey,
real whistleblower, and your own
maybe
family
we're
said
done.
you raped a woman.
Maybe you're done then. Because clearly I'm done with you today. You want to start looping back to that BS? You're done. Get out of here. Brothers and sisters, those who tune in, especially those who caution me, Jack, what are you doing? Thank you for your patience. I see another clown has shown up in the back, and Banana, nope, not today. Not today. Here, this is hilarious. It's snafu. I'm being surrounded and attracting these agents of chaos, and it's insanity. Not as much. Welcome, Hank. How are you, brother?
I'm doing good. I just left No Jack's panel, and I think I asked Limit Tommy to ask Officer Snaps to retract the terroristic threats again, and he was saying, well, if it's not coming to your house right now, it doesn't count, and that's ridiculous. He doesn't understand most of what he says. He just doesn't understand. He thinks in black and white. He makes excuses. He makes apologetics for himself. It's just ridiculous. Oh well.
It's insanity. I mean, I've got Hand Banana is another character who thinks it's appropriate to falsely accuse people. Why are you here, Banana?
Why are you so angry today?
Yeah, your incompetence is not acceptable. He's offering insults in the back. According to Hand Banana, Chuck said you slept with a man. So he came in. I heard you've been banging dudes, Jack. I didn't know you were gay. Chuck said you slept with a man.
So
And you,
my question is, even if Jack did, why does it matter to you? Why are you obsessed with who we get in bed with? What's your problem, man?
well, what more importantly, what it is it's a man who wants to gossip and believe in lies. Now, what Chuck will say is, "Oh, I just said what you said, Jack. I just said what you said." Isn't that Chuck?
Yes.
These fools are they've been they've been allowing me to grow in my patience, but my patience, they've done nothing to earn my patience.
Well, we'll just keep record of it. Maybe they'll return the favor eventually, but we'll keep a tab for them.
Well, this is just it. I'm not seeking as much as repayment. I'm not seeking, punishment. I'm seeking for the insanity to end. But Snafu doesn't want to change. Paul doesn't want to change. Even people who say they want to change, they don't seem to want my help in their change. But at least not directly. But here's the thing. OTW and I were talking, he pointed out recently, he's learned from me, not from me, but through our interactions. He's learned from himself through me. And that's what we're doing. But this is why I'm so insistent that Snafu and Paul, they need to look at themselves. Tommy, they need to look at themselves. El Perro, my brother, you have changed. I have seen your change and your growth. You're much, if you can allow the words, I consider you're much more honorable and respect filled. And that's a high quality, man. That's the godlike. And Wizard El Perro, you helped me. You helped me find my anger. I saw me getting angry, and then I saw you, and then I know neither of us are worthy of that. Both of us are worthy of peace. And we're worthy of respect. It's challenging when people don't see what is respectable. That's what I've been facing quite a bit. Because admittedly, I was considering this earlier today. Earlier today, I did. I lost sight of my faith and comfort, and I started looking at what things were happening. I honestly thought I would have some sort of movement or change before the scheduled trip to Los Angeles. I guess I'm not talking with you.
You said you're going to Los Angeles, but you didn't finish your freaking sentence. Do I guess what you're about to say?
No, you're clearly not paying attention. And here, actually, here's another part of this. I did come to a decision because I'd considered the idea. I discussed the idea of going and cleaning up my look, going and traveling with a new freshness and, a new quality with me. But as I said earlier, I started really thinking about things, how the missionaries left, how I've been unrecognized. I've been just fucking mistreated. So I got in my head a little bit earlier today about all the selfishness I found myself with. Because that's truly what corrupts people is their selfishness. It ties into where my thought was. Everything I'm saying makes sense. So the confused Chuck and Snafu, Tommy, Paul, all these other people who claim to know me, they can't make sense of me and they blame me. Well, here's what I know. What I'm talking about is love. Love doesn't always make sense in the mind, but love is the power. Brought that up for a reason different than this. What was I going?
Are you asking me?
No, the idea of sense. The idea of sense. We all possess logic and reasoning. We all possess an inner sense, right? We can sense what is real, what is not. We can sense what is right, what is not. Sometimes we don't always know what's going on. We get confused by the feelings, but here's the key. Those who convince themselves to not care, they dumb their senses. They numb themselves. And those who numb themselves, whether it's through intoxication or gambling or all these other lusts, people lose sight. They go insane. The key is to care. And that was actually another topic. The other idea of what is important, but I'll yield. Hank?
Yeah. I understand where you're coming from, but there is a point where you care about stuff that's too far away from you to actually have a meaningful influence on. And I would say deprioritize at least. You can still care about it, but deprioritize it. Work on stuff that you can actually do something about.
Respect. Welcome, Frank. Monday. How are you, brother?
Doing well, thank you, Jack. Greetings, gentlemen. Hank, Jack, good to see you too.
You as well, man. Hank, yes, what you were saying. It's wherever the philosophy came from, the Buddha, the philosophy that life is suffering. Yes, it can be. The suffering is self-created by our choices and our desires. And when we have desires for things that are out of our reach, we cause ourselves pain. And that includes, and then we attach ourselves to these ideas, to these expectations of the way things should be according to our thoughts. But our attachments create our suffering. But it swings back around. We all possess, every one of us, we possess the will and ability, whether we recognize it or not, we choose what is important. And what is important at one moment may, like Hank said, it varies in degree. But the world we live in is backwards. And I'm telling you guys, there's something happening with me. And you're here with me, so something is happening with us. And I believe that we are the happening that's been prophesized. We are the ones who are rising up. That's where I'm headed.
Well said, Jack. And may I comment on Hank briefly to say that you're looking especially fly today, Hank. Good for you, man. Loving the red, sporting that, looking beautiful. And you too, Jack. You mentioned a moment ago that maybe you were gonna, do a bit of a image change on your way out. I agree with your choice not to, and I'll tell you why. Because your message for today is nourishing the heart, and I believe that speaks to heart-centered awareness and what we call in the mystic movement, so to speak, the Christ consciousness. And I think if Christ was telling us anything, it's that inward focus of the kingdom being within, right? And honoring God's law. And with that heart-centered focus, that these outward things are just their outwards expression. They're the leaves on the trees of life, right? They're not the root. And so nourishing the root and staying in that heart-centered awareness, I think that's just so much more important. And I think your beard is beautiful, and you look great. And people are going to react to you. They judge a book by its cover, and they vilify other people, and they try to break other people down so they can uplift themselves. But what they don't realize is that's antithetical to what Jesus was trying to teach us.
Thank you, brother. Well spoken, and it absolutely is. But that's what this world is created. The world is created antithetical to what Jesus taught. That's why there's profitable debts. There's prisons for profits. The evil has been right in front of our faces, but there's an awakening happening. There is a revival that is occurring. And I believe that's what the book of Revelation is. There's a revealing. There was a revealing in the prophecy in the past, but we are the revealing of today. And when we allow ourselves to break away from the fears, from the pain, from the sorrows, from the suffering of the world that we used to know, when we break away from that, we can become enraptured with love. And I didn't know it was possible, guys, but if you can trust my testimony, what works for me can work for anyone. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. Find heaven in your heart, and your heart is infinite in its expansion, in its ability to expand and to grow. Your heart has abilities that are tapped into through the mind. This mind, if you allow the world to if you allow yourself to be caught up in the world, you can start picking sides in these battles that are not yours. Because where I'm at, I truly trust. I don't know what it means for me in the future. I'm honest about what my dreams are and what I hope can be accomplished, but truly, my only hope is to be with gratitude and love and peace each day. We can all do that. And when we train ourselves to accept, and we create the lifestyle through our choices and our commitments to creating a life with more peace, more love, more joy, more health. We intentionally create it, take the actions, and then it's just a matter of allowing peace to be and nourishing the heart through compassion, through care, through service of others. That's where the American way has lost sight of. It's all about rewarding the self-centered.
Yeah, well said. Beautiful words. And I believe it was Aristotle who told us that excellence isn't an accident, that it's a matter of practice, right? And whatever you do routinely, daily, throughout your life is what you become. And so that's not an accidental thing. And I would bring it back around, too, to what Hank was saying earlier, that we need to stay within our area of direct control and our cultivation, because that will have the immediate impact on our sphere of influence. Psychologically, they say we're within these three concentric circles: the sphere of direct control, then the sphere of influence, and then that touches out to the sphere of no control or non-direct control. And so Hank was bringing it back to, we these gradual small steps. Like tomorrow, I believe you're taking, as Lao Tzu said, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and you've already reached out. And I would just reinforce that and say, always put your best foot forward. Know that you're loved. Know that you're supported by God, and His archangels stand in defense of what of truth and light, and they you can embody those principles as you move forward. And your pattern that you've already established over a long period of time, I think, is what will sustain you. Don't lose sight of that. You have your daily message, you have your daily fellowship, and you know that you are doing your best to embody what the Christ was trying to bring to us. So that's a beautiful thing, man.
Thank you, brother. And those words are great reminders for us all. We are all on these individual paths, and it's easy to lose sight of the hope. It's easy to lose sight of the good, because the world doesn't want the good to rise. So it's up to each of us. What you said something though, Frank, too, about magnificence comes from practice. And truly, there's something about individual talent, individual technique. There's no denying individual greatness. But every great master in whatever field, they take their craft, their sport, their talent, they take whatever it is they're doing, and they refine the fundamentals. And they practice the fundamentals until the fundamentals can never be screwed up, because it's just a part of them. And then as they grow in their mastery of the fundamentals, they grow in their own flourish, their own technique. And that's where the artistry comes out. Every one of us. We got somehow, some way, we fit into this greatest cosmic light show, the symphony of life that is. Somehow we fit into all of this. And I'm telling you guys, I've been trying to figure out, how do I describe myself? I tried asking the missionaries. I asked the missionaries this question again, because that church believes in prophets. I said, well, how does one know if one is a prophet? I mean, what facts do you look for? and I'm not saying I am a prophet. I am saying that God has graced me and blessed me with a relationship with the Holy Spirit. And through that Holy Spirit, God has allowed me to discover a lot of different things about this world, including about myself. Welcome, Zatoichi.
Hello. How are you?
I'm blessed. I've been hoping to share some of the blessings, hoping to share some of the joy. So welcome.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if you caught the beginning. The idea and the topic is nourishing the heart. And I had some different ideas for the topic, but it was originally like feed the heart. Feed yourself the joy. Feed yourself the nourishment. Feed yourself the fulfillment. Anything we want in life, it's up to us. We must seek it, find it, and enjoy it. Create it, I guess. But the idea of nourishing the heart, it is so important. I didn't recognize the importance of self-love, self-care. I didn't know the importance of actually being in tune with my emotions, with my feelings, because I was raised to be a man. Ain't got time for the feelings, but you better get those damn feelings under control. We're here to grow and to understand. It truly is. The words of the Bible have so much wisdom about how the prideful are there, the arrogance and the suffering. It's all connected to the mind. Our God is the goodness. Our God is the trueness. Oh, that's where you and I had parted ways, Zatoichi. You had said there was no evidence for God.
No, I never meant to say that. What I want to say is that there is evidence for God and it's all around us. I mean, I don't know where you would get that impression that I would say that there is no God, because there is a God. It's all around us. It supports everything that exists on a molecular quantum level.
Okay. So where did we part ways?
I don't know. You tell me.
I'm not the one who found all the disagreements or the reasons.
Yes, you are. You called me a nincompoop fucking poop and all kinds of things and a buffoon, and you went off the handle.
Were you
Yeah.
being an nincompoop?
No, I
Yeah.
was not. I was only making valid points, but there was
Okay,
no room
Zatoichi,
for argument.
Zatoichi, as long as you keep telling yourself that story, you're going to stay bitter, stay confused.
I'm not the one who's bitter or confused. I'm not the one who
So
cuts
you
me
say,
off.
please yield. Welcome, Noel. How are you today?
I know, Al. Finally, someone who makes some goddamn sense around here.
Ouch,
you-
that was
you
harsh. Wow, such harsh words. What an
Well,
injurious soul. Who hurt
he's-
you, friend?
He's bitter. He's
I am
gonna-
not bitter. I am sent here to bring awareness.
Okay, Zatoichi, you are clearly,
Clitter. That was a Freudian slip, huh?
you have these patterns of being interruptive and real disrespectful
Mhm.
towards me.
I don't respect anyone until they earn my respect.
Yeah, well, this is the deal, buddy. You're in denial. And my
Am I?
patience, yes. And here, I'm going to enable your denial. You're denied access to me. Continue your way.
Well said. Nicole's here. Noel, yeah. Greetings. Homie's got a bone to pick with you for some reason, Jack. An axe to grind.
It's fascinating. And I don't understand why everyone thinks it's appropriate. I mean, not everyone, why so many people think it's appropriate. They're no part of my life.
Oh, I know. They're mistaking your kindness for weakness. That's why.
It's fascinating.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm glad occasionally when the you can hear the rattlesnake's tail a little bit and you do bare your fangs, because it took a lot to push Jesus to take out the bullwhip, you know, but eventually it did have to come out, and occasionally it does. So, you know, that's justified. Righteous fury is sometimes justified. But I love your message of ending war and bringing about greater peace. And even Trump is trying to play off of that. You know, he kind of ran with your message, and he said that he wanted to be, you know, his legacy, he wants to be known as a man of peace. And I think that really aligns, you know, like Hank a moment ago was, again, talking about our area of direct control, but we can reach out to that area where the unknown exists, and God dwells within that and gives us the power to reach forward. And that's the true message, I think, that's inspiring you and uplifting you and driving you to do this every single day, to open yourself to the world and offer help and bring forward the message of salvation, is that you genuinely want to connect with this greater God force that's going to bring about real positive change in the world. And so it's a good thing.
Yeah. You never know who for sure who's watching your show, Jack. You really can't trust these the numbers YouTube shows to you.
Oh, true that. Absolutely. They lie about the numbers constantly. And Hank, you gave me a lot of inspiration the other day. Hank was in a panel chat, and there was just a barrage of things coming at us. And he showed really a lot of grace under pressure. And I respect that. And my respect has increasingly grown for his ability to it's hard to describe. I don't have words to articulate it at this time, but I think that Hank always brings forward something of value to conversations, and that's a wonderful thing. So thank you for that, Hank.
We've got some great people around here. And I see opportunities that, maybe I'm fooling myself, but I could see some ways for people to collaborate, co-create some things just very briefly, do some powerful things to help each other. That's what I'm really hoping to accomplish, is people actually finding reasons to work together instead of arguing, like Zatoichi and Banana and Snafu. And actually, not to gossip, but I did tune in a little bit, Austin. Paul he's pushing himself, and he's ready to start learning some lessons. I didn't see him with any guests, but when Paul learns how to communicate with me, he'll learn how to be kinder to other people. That's why I don't understand why people don't see the benefit in what I'm doing. I mean, if I can actually find a way to communicate with Snafu, with Paul, Tommy, even that Steven, right? If I can find a way to communicate with them and they start becoming more self-aware, they start actually paying attention to their behavior and what they're saying, well, the world around us gets better. That's literally what I'm suggesting we do with Donald Trump as well, and many other people alive today. Let's confront the insanity. Snafu?
You don't want to confront anything. I've had your own family come on my channel and expose you, and you always want to backtrack from your own family.
You're a liar. You're a liar, a deceiver, a manipulator, and you're playing the role of the devil. Wake up to your behavior. Does anyone else understand that these are false accusations, misrepresentations of me?
Yes. In fact, Snafu won't even say if we could trust anything he says. That's how dishonesty is. He doesn't know if he could trust anything he says.
Well, as I've been saying, this is Jack Talcott's story, if you can believe it, since 2018. People who claim to care about me have misunderstood me. They have misrepresented me. I've been accused of some horrible things. It cost me my career, my family. My future was stolen from me, and I'm still trying to find a way to make a better world for us all.
Yes, and those same people who allegedly care about you, I got them uncloak and say they don't care whatsoever. They don't care about the facts. They don't care about people's lives. They don't care. So you're welcome for that, Jack.
Yeah, and again, they're grasping at straws because of their own fear of the future, right? Somehow they think that by breaking you down is going to lift them up, which is absolutely not true. And the other thing too, I would like to add to that is that by constantly, them throwing your past at you, and only their perception of it, right, and their misinterpretation of those things that they really have no direct connection with. Because I've been listening for a long time. Like I said, Jack, I listen every day before work. And I can't always participate, but when I can, it's like, wow, some of these people they don't see how like obtuse or it's like how obvious their incorrect interaction with people is, because it's really not fair.
Hey, let me clear the air here. I'm sorry to take us off, Frank. This is Charles Smith. He's a man from my past. Now, Snafu claims him and Charles were talking. Through message, Charles Smith denies that fact. So Snafu claiming he's got something set up, that he's going to be bringing these Charles back in like he threatened the other day on the public live stream. Charles Smith denies that. Now, Charles is also a liar, though. See, he wants to blame everything on Jack and not actually seeing what role he played, what role other people played. So, similar to Snafu, Charles Smith is another man. Now, the difference between Snafu and Charles is I truly loved Charles, cared deeply about that man, and I still do care deeply about him and his family. He just stopped caring about me. So Charles is part of my life. Snafu is a part of my life. Margot. There's a big old happy family that wants to be against me. And I've been saying they're wrong.
Yeah, this may be my flaw, but my preferred solution for this problem is just the two-state solution. I'll do my thing over here, and you be crazy over there. So that's what I did to people in my past that burned me before, like Charles did to Jack. So I could be wrong. I don't know yet, but we'll find out sooner or later.
Yeah, and one of the beautiful things too, Jack, is that there was the Charles and stuff, but there's also Hank now as a part of your life, and Frank Monday, Noel, and there are more people coming and going, and that's one thing that remains true throughout life is that there's always going to be people coming and going. My dad told me something great on his deathbed. He said, "Son, remember if it's when you get to the end of your life, if you can count your true friends on one hand, consider yourself lucky." So it's a tough world out there, and very few will genuinely go the length of the journey with you and be there to support you, and so many fall to the wayside. Friends, family, associates, acquaintances. So God is the true source that we can rely on, and His beloved Son as the image of what we cultivate. Then we can always reconnect with new folks and new energy sources.
Praise be. Well said, brother. With what you were saying, the thought came up, God has shown me. I loved and trusted people too much. It was my downfall. I used my love and my trust for, trusting a few and loving others. I used that as a reason for my misery because I was raised in a confused state. But I'm telling you guys, my testimony is what it is. And I'm not trying to be preachy. I'm not trying to be lectury or, like I know things I don't, but I'm telling you what God allowed me to learn, the transformation of mind. I am evidence. When my son returns, when Margot and Charles and these other people stop lying to themselves about me, they'll be witnesses. I have witnesses of how good I was, not a rapist, not a criminal, not a deadbeat dad. I have plenty of evidence that shows my good character. And when my family and people from the past return, which is why, Hank, which is why I don't want to just push everyone away. There's a value in their return. Their life becomes better. My life becomes better. Better is better for the whole world.
Yes, but if they don't want to do it by not prioritizing someone who's just easier to work with.
I haven't found anyone who's easy to work with because none have wanted to work with me the way that I want. That includes you, Hank. You wanted me to do things for us to work together, and I'm like, I don't know what you want.
It sounds like a you issue, to be honest.
It is a me issue. This is what I know. There's something going on. There's been a pattern. And here's what I want to point out. Snafu is the most recent one who's here. He's example of a pattern that's been in my life. I've been trying to figure out, how do I get people to stop accusing me? Any one of them. I mean, Margot has finally stopped. I'm not sure where she's going to lead herself with me, but there's no reason I couldn't have spoke with my son before this trip. There's no reason I couldn't have spoke with Donald Trump before this trip.
Well, there is one reason. The reason is they refused to respond to your inquiry.
Yeah.
And that's the long and short of it.
It is. But consider that's what God has been doing with man too. He's given mankind all sorts of messengers, even individually. Once I did commit myself and I started down this path of spirituality, in hindsight, I saw that God had given me plenty of signs. I had been called to the spiritual path through a number of different ways in my past, and I just, nope. I was stubborn and I had my blinders on. But I'm telling you, if anyone, I believe in free will. I believe that through God's grace, any one of us can accomplish amazing things. And one of the most amazing things I want everyone to consider is the benefit of having a solid relationship with you, who you are, and God, everything else. If you can be comfortable with you and everything else, including everyone else, well, you found the kingdom of heaven. It's here.
I agree.
Yeah, and it's only he who is above can reign over these unlimited matters. You know, our individual power is so vastly limited in our capability. And when all of these things come at us, you know, the 10,000 things, it's a myriad of distractions and confusions. We have to rest solid in the Holy Spirit and in the image of that God has brought forward for us to cultivate. And rest assured in that as you go forward, Jack. I mean, we say Godspeed when someone's on a journey, and that God be with you as you travel and enjoy the time and the fellowship and the learning and all of those things. What will bring about a greater result. Sometimes we have to struggle in order to get that transcendental moment, right? Christ had to bear the cross. But even with Christ bearing the cross to his own crucifixion, he did receive assistance. So look out for those assistants along the way. And God, like you said a moment ago, God's sending his message, constantly reaching out to you. You know, it's only we who turn away from the light that when we start to wallow in darkness. So God will be there with you. And so will all of us, you know, we'll be waiting for your return and your report, and finding the ways that we can offer our assistance and our help to power you along your journey.
It's all coming together, brother. Thank you. I appreciate the positive reminders and encouragement. There was this comment regarding Gad's sad. That guy's another brilliant intellectual who's I've reached out to him, and just as I started in my stream, I've done and said things that good intentions just come out real foolish, and somehow I offended Gad Sad in whatever it was I said to him. But I was trying to reach. I thought he could be a path to reach Dr. Jordan Peterson, and I guess I insulted him by trying to use it that way.
Oh, absolutely, that would insult him because he thinks he's the shit himself. So
yeah,
and in fact, I would agree with that assessment. He is really, really good. Just getting to him would have been a big win. So you slipped on the banana peel, Jack.
I did. I did, Hank. You're right. And he is. He's a very brilliant man too, but both of them are they have their blind spots. And I know I have my blind spots. I keep looking for my blind spots, but man, there's a lot of know-it-alls. And Dr. Jordan Peterson is one of those.
And that's the truth too. Like a moment ago, you said that you don't want to be preachy towards us or give us a big lecture, And
Right.
sometimes people they just the doctrine and the dogma it becomes too much. And I think that's genuinely where your power in your expression of the fruits of the spirit lie is your sincerity and genuineness and kindness and the whole idea of living without fear. That's what you need to stick with your own basic principles because these other guys they intellectualize everything so much that the average layman can't even keep up.
You know what? Golly geez, you're right. I've considered this possibility before because my mind, I love the complex, but I simplify things because I'm a real simple guy. And that's where I think I could be like um, an intermediary. Actually, that's what I'm looking for myself is someone to help me communicate what I'm saying so other people understand me. Because I know what I'm trying to say.
That's what I do professionally. That's pretty much been both my whole IT and logistics career. So
No kidding. IT, I never looked at it that way, but yeah, there's aspects of that there too. See, this life we're living in, it is an adventure. We've got skills. Maybe we don't recognize it that our skill and education in this field, it can actually be applied in other ways as well. It's kind of what I noticed. I noticed it clearly once I got inspired with having a brand and being an entrepreneur. I looked at business, and as soon as I started looking into marketing and and the product stuff, it's sociology. It's the study of human behavior. That's all it is. So just studying people. That's what we're here to do. Study who we are, learn who we are through the world around us. But this world profits from us thinking small, from fitting in or falling into these routines. We're here to think big, to truly, I believe, I trust, when we unite, we'll overcome it all. And that's where I wonder, am I a prophet or am I just a madman who's lost his sense?
Is there a difference, right? Sometimes I can come off a little bit of like a pirate's parrot, and I'm on your shoulder and wind in your sails, wind in your sails. But some of that is absolutely necessary. When every great performer is about to step on stage, if somebody comes up and they say something negative to them right before they go out, it just creates a sucking away of the energy, and they feed on this loosh. And so sometimes we do need our compatriots around us to say, hey, do it. You can do it. You can get it done. And I think part of your main message is in that you like Hank maybe impose some limitation and saying, hey, think about it in very limited terms and what you can only get from your immediate environment and situation. And I think your grander vision of, hey, no, I want to connect directly with God's message and be a greater catalyst of change, I think is stick with it. And the doubts are going to come. It's the pushbacks, the warning signs that are trying to keep you safe and in your comfort zone. But you're taking a big step, over the next few days to reach out and reach a broader community. And so wind in your sails, if I may.
yeah. So I'm like the practical guy. I understand the grand vision, but I understand from doing school for 12, 14, 15, 16 years that if we don't have the right framework to start with, you're just gonna spin your wheels. So I want to focus on stuff we can do right now.
True that. And I'm more of a dreamer, and I think Jack is more of a dreamer too. And it takes both. It takes the analytical side and the dreaming side, the artistic side, in order to make something great. I think again, your main message of ending war is the war of these battling ideologies too, left and right, man and woman. When we can alleviate this vast tension and create harmony rather than discord, then we're moving forward.
Yeah,
You get it.
that's why I disagree. I'm okay with ideology fights. Those don't kill anyone. I want to end the actual wars.
Well, the fights over ideas have resulted in physical wars, and that's what I'm suggesting we can overcome. Is even the war over ideals, we can understand each other and we can live amongst each other. We get to decide what is important. We get to decide if the differences matter or if the similarities matter, if the goal matters. I suggest the goal that we all share, whether we believe in it or not, we recognize it or not. We all have within us a care for life, to preserve life, nurture life, grow life. And what I'm suggesting is there's opportunities. It sounds like Donald Trump is ready for these ideas. He might be the perfect guy to listen to some radical ideas and strategize about truly transforming this world. I want to help him do it. And I think I could. If given the opportunity, I believe I could help him. If given the opportunity, I believe I could help a lot of people, even the people who accuse me. If Snafu, Paul, my son, anyone, if they'd sit and have a conversation, actually allow themselves to be proven wrong, that, oh, maybe Jack's not dangerous. Oh, maybe I did misunderstand. Guys, I think I'm a messenger with God's ideas, because that's what I did to God. I rejected God without understanding what was available. I think a lot of people have underestimated God. A lot of people underestimate me, and I'm just like every one of us. So I'm sure the patterns I'm dealing with are in different ways, different people, right? We all deal with similar things, but it makes sense, even in the biblical and scripture idea. If we're made in the image of, we're going to have traits and qualities reflecting the Most High, and then we're all made from and of the same source, brought for the same generative purpose of life. We're going to have images and reflections of each other. It's so divine. Life is so divine. It's so beautiful. The heart is where life is lived, I guess. We lose touch with our heart. We tell ourselves we don't care. When we stop caring, we drive ourselves insane. Those are words from experience. I convinced myself I didn't care, and then I showed myself reasons to care. We don't want to live like that because that creates suffering, right? The ancient wisdom is eternally true. Brothers and sisters, our world suffers due to ignorance. The ignorance is shown through the patterns of victim and perpetrator. That's juvenile. It's childish, selfish games. And so what if it is us? What if today, is it Wednesday? Yeah. What if this Wednesday is the start, which it is? It's the start of our future. And what if our future includes world peace, world transformation, What if it starts on an individual place? What is peace? Peace is simply the absence of wars, the absence of conflicts. There may be wars, there may be conflicts, even in your direct experience, but are they important? Or is your peace important? I've got Snafu in the back again, and my peace is important to me. He doesn't seem to appreciate or respect, he doesn't seem to care about that fact.
Yeah, and it seems you can tell immediately from the outset or inset of any conversation or interaction, are these people or this individual working in collaboration with the Prince of Peace? And do they truly desire to express that? Or are they working with the great deceiver? And it becomes obvious like really fast. I've succumbed to it too a couple of times recently. Opened the chat on my channel and stuff, and some of the notorious, infamous individuals like Queen Stephanie show up and just launch into invectives and attacks and pejoratives, and it's like, oh my god, it's just overwhelming, and you have to take a break from it sometimes. I respect that you've endured so much at some of these folks' hands, and that's why I sympathize and empathize and commiserate with your battle, because it's a real spiritual battle. And when you lose sight of the fact that we are engaged in a spiritual battle and think about it in a mundane sense, and it's just all, nuts and bolts and brass tacks, it's not. It's exactly not that. And I'm glad, I find inspiration in tuning into you throughout the week and being reminded that there is the spiritual battle as well. And I'm glad that you leave a lot of the doctrine and dogma aside, because people weaponize it against you, and they're like, oh, you don't remember this exact Bible verse or this exact Bible verse. And it's like, that's not what it's about. It's the spirit of the thing, right? It's the spirit of the law, not the letter of the law.
Well, those people don't, that criticize Jack for not remembering the Bible verses, they never cite the Bible themselves.
Right.
So, yeah, they never cite the Bible themselves. They don't know what's in it. They do presentations on tarot cards, and they don't even say it was from France, or that was it was a card game. So I can't take them seriously. I had to come and push on Jack because he's much stronger than the Illuminatomies, the Office Snafu Snaps, and the King Stevens put together.
It's been an interesting adventure, but here's what I've been learning. Truly, I mentioned it in this stream, but my experience online, things in my life, they certainly didn't go the way I dreamed. They didn't go the way I planned. They didn't go the way I thought they should go in my personal life, professional life, everything. But there's something amazing that's happening in this life. There is an awakening. There's been a shift. I experienced my own personal shift, my own personal awakening, and it brought me to this love of learning, I've been studying the science of everything, the science of spirituality, the sciences of everything. Because life is what we are within us, in our mind. In our mind is what we talked about earlier, the analytical mind, that mind that wants to define and figure out, wants to calculate everything. So there's the scientific aspect. And then the other side in our right brain is it's the more artistic, the more sense driven. And that's truly, it requires a balance of science and art. And there is an art to science, and there is a science to art, regardless of which category we apply that. That's where the magic of the truth comes in. The truth is an amazing gift to be honored. To me, the unseen truth, which is the meaning and the explanations of things, that's the gift of God. That's God revealing wisdom. in the truth. That's going to be the key to transforming every single one of us and the collective. It's a change in value, focusing on wisdom, because even the most foolish have something to share. Snafu, he pays attention to things that I think other people should be paying attention to as well. But regarding some of the world corruption and the infiltration, but Snafu, if what you said is true, help me help you so that we can work together. Because Snafu, why not? Help me speak with what's his name? Alex Jones. He's got a better chance of getting the attention of Donald Trump than me or you. If you actually work
I could call Owen Schroyer today, but we've showed him footage of you, and they think you're delusional. Who's this guy who says he's going to stop wars? Who's this guy who?
Oh my God!
Without being crazy, whether you think it's a lie or not, and Frank Monday, this is something you need to pay attention to. You know, I brought Jackson's family on my channel, and they exposed him for rape.
Yeah, that's not relevant. Alex Jones was also accused of rape, and it wasn't true. And so many people. I mean, that's just mudslinging. And Alex Jones and his ilk have no credit to call anyone delusional. I mean, he's a raving madman half the time. He's also spot on half the time. But even a broken clock is right twice a day.
So let me expose Officer Snaps' deception. If that was the case, of course Owen Schroyer would want to have Jack Talcott on for like a full 30 minutes so he can make fun of him for the rest of the show. I know Owen Schroyer. I watched this show. So this is a false statement. Because if Jack was that far off, he would totally have him on just so we can make fun of him. So, come on. No one's buying your narrative.
Holy cows. We've got another bright light here wanting to join us.
It's not Queen Stephanie, is it? Oh, no. Okay. Lumatami.
Following me around after telling me you don't want anything to do with me. Interesting.
He's stalking you. Yeah, he's stalking you.
Actually, the last stream me and Hank crossed paths that I was there for the subject matter, we set him straight. I was not following him, and he's still on that bit. But I did want to come up to talk to you, Hank. If I've acknowledged that I don't think Snafu should be calling our assault specifically on Jack, and I've reprimanded him and done my best to keep him straight on that, don't you think if I believed he truly was making a direct physical threat to you, I would say something about it?
So, let me get this straight. You're saying...
Now, you're bisexual.
You're saying Officer Snafu Snaps is a compulsive liar. Is that correct?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying no one's making direct physical threats to you.
But you did say that you've been participating in trying to correct some of the things he said. You know he's not of sound mind. So the
I think he's of sound mind. I think I've tried to do the same to you. Like when he's saying direct taking vagina word against its will, I don't think you did that. I think that woman had common relations with you, and I think everybody gets drunk and does stuff with their common partners. I think you've acknowledged that's your child. But to think that she was going, no, Jack, no, clawing at your face, that's what I think when I hear the R assault word.
So give us a Snafu decoder ring. How do we discern whether Snafu Snaps is lying or not?
Right.
In your case, and once again, Hank, you are not equipped to do that, so you must find trustable friends of non-autism in the social realm. I've tried to do that for you.
Yes, but you're probably borderline if we just go by...
No, that's your flow state ties. I'm not autistic, Hank. I'm actually pretty competent human being.
All right, so we should do this. We should do that psych eval thing you offered yesterday.
Oh, so we're going to validate those who would deem you autistic. I like it.
Well, yeah. Well, I wasn't on the panel. I offered to pay for those. So we should
No,
get
if
those done
you're
and see what your
gonna
problems are.
validate, if you're gonna validate a psych evaluation, that's where you say they can't say I'm autistic. What? Oh, he's right because he's a shrink.
I said I was gonna fund it. You, Flow State, and Jack said, well, I think it was Flow
Jack,
State said
I have
they're gonna
to
get
think
psych
if Jack's
evaluated
sharing that he
and
agrees.
recorded. So I'm offering to fund that because I would really want more information on what's wrong with you.
Oh, something's wrong with me, Hank?
Obviously.
Hank, if I reference people where we just came from that some back there would suggest you silently Spurg ran, I was wrecking your house on you trying to claim you're being threatened and among claiming I'm homeless and all your little games you're running. The biggest game of all seems to be Jack support.
Well, you both want to be recognized for wrecking each other.
Wrong. That's not what I'm out here doing any more than Venus needs to acknowledge she does have a problem hesitating in the chat. Oh, you can reference the chat. I can't reference the chat.
Rather than disagree, help me understand. How were you not out to break others?
I'm out to truth, and that's what it's always been. And anybody that's got a problem with me should read into that.
I'm trying to confront you with this problem because
then maybe you should remember every time either of us confronts the other, it doesn't go good for the non-truthitude of Talcott.
Well,
could you go ahead? I'm sorry, but could you explain just a little bit about what you mean? I'm out to truth. It seems like you have an axe to grind, and when is enough? When can you bury the hatchet and move forward onto something positive and not so low level static?
I'm on all kinds of positive, and if you read challenging either of these top rows as negative, you need to Bobby Tuesday, less Frank Monday.
Yeah, you're just dwelling in. Go ahead, Jack.
Well, am I? Unpack that. Because see, the hardest thing for any of you people to do is explain what the fuck you're saying and what you're founding it on.
This guy just doesn't take a breath. Fuck, chill for a second.
Right.
Oh, that's a card that gets played.
Actually, no, thank you. That's a great reminder because, Tom, seriously, we can have conversations when we slow down.
No, we can have conversations on the fairest unmod godded panel. You're about to hit that
button. You're just trying to dominate the conversation. Right. Don't allow a word in edgewise.
No, I'm trying to stop Jack before he starts his...
You've got an axe to grind. You're not exposing any truth. You're just bringing forward more static and self-interest and narcissism. God, it's so apparent.
Yeah, I just told him this on New Jack's show, which he followed me on. He saw me on panel when he came up, even though he wants nothing to do with me yesterday. So, and this is the second time today that he's done it. So, come on. Who are you fooling?
Well, you could see the difference, right? It just takes all the wind out of your sails. You know, I could see Jack over there just suffering. And like yesterday when I experienced it, and I saw you there enduring it as well, Hank. It can be really burdensome, and sometimes you got to cut it. But yeah, Jack, if you would elaborate a little on the point you were going to make.
Hey, Frank, thank you for trying to call Tommy out. And it's not calling him out. It's pay attention to what you're doing, Tom. This lesson I've learned sincerely, it makes sense in so many different ways. The ego, the identity of us, our character, that's where the anxiousness is found. The spirit is eternal. It is peace at all times. It is patient. It has no rush, has no worries. So the key is to escape the mind. Tell yourself to slow down. And even when you've got these overactive thoughts, you know, the thoughts that you want to fight, slow the tempo down.
Because Frank Monday, who is no Bobby Tuesday, is saying, I'm the problem when you're impeding this conversation. Tom, your ego of referring to yourself in the third person, mod God extraordinaire. How am I supposed to reply to all three of you that waited till the block and talk to say your piece?
But just
Are
read the
you-
room. Is this the place
Yeah.
for you to
Oh,
hash
very
out
unslavic, very unslavic logic.
No, it's
Now,
actually honest.
Frank,
Tom,
he's
chill
addressing
out.
me.
Tom, chill out.
Where's conversations with Frank?
Hey, Jack, I'll take responsibility for this. Tommy won't take responsibility. I'll take it. It's my fault.
Oh, wait, did you just say I came up here to talk to you, Hank? And you're still saying I came up on the last panel? I know you made it about us on the last panel. Are you doing that now?
It's my fault.
Very good, Hank. Now, Frank, before you make these claims, I can't fire up a stream without this dude coming over, requesting to change the subject. That's Jack I'm talking about, not Hank.
You're so bitter, dude.
Hold up,
Yeah.
that's a deflection. Are you
You're-
saying you don't show up on my panel? Are you saying you don't show up on my panel?
I have, but I've given
Then
up
how
on
many
you,
times are
too.
you going to nod along with all this? Jack, why do you entertain
my
it? Why do you
God.
bring them up?
Tell you what, Tom, I'm convinced it is you. You are the problem between you and I. So until
you're
you can learn how to present yourself differently, I'm going to consider that I'm correct. And Tommy, I don't need your problems with me. I can find enough of my own problems with me. And I don't need you running around here publicly claiming that everyone who opposes me is correct. You're out of your mind, dude. And Frank, you called it out politely and accurately. Tom, you look at your patterns. You're over speaking. You may not be mod godding, but it's your behavior that gets you put in the back.
Your behavior is narrativing that I say what you and Hank are saying I'm saying. Now, you just told me like a narcissist, I'm making you put me in the back.
You're leaving me few options.
Jack, you come to the Ferris panel, I don't mod god you a bit, and you run like a bitch, because you are.
Not true. You're a liar. You're a liar and deceiver, and you can take your accusations elsewhere, Tom. I'm done with you today. Thank you.
Yes. So on No Jack's panel, he asked me why I went and replayed his panel and responded to it. It's because you're not a good host, Tommy. I'll say it again. I'm going to emphasize it. You're not a good host. You're not the president of Panelverse, and you don't have a fair panel.
Well, the tactics seem... Go ahead.
Go ahead, Frank.
I was just going to say that the tactics seem pretty straightforward. It's just to dominate the conversation and not allow for a moment of thought or contemplation. And it just seems so odious and obnoxious because it's not the way the human mind functions. We don't need to be force-fed their opinions and ideas. We need to have polite conversations that elevate ourselves philosophically and spiritually and seek the light and the truth. I mean, everyone else's interpretation of everything constantly being shoved down your mouth is just going to make you puke. You know, it's just intolerable. I mean,
Yeah,
take a moment to breathe.
Frank, every time you give him a second to finish, or you think about what he says, "Deer in the headlights, I win automatically." That's just verbal vomit. He's not thinking through. He's not trying to have intellectual discussion. He's just trying to vomit over you and then declare victory.
These are symptoms of the conditioned ego. The mind has become conditioned to live in a state of fight, a state of panic. I used to suffer from that too, but this is what I've been trying to communicate to Snafu, and it's a lesson for all of us. We may get these thoughts, we may get these feelings, and these, we want to really let it out. Well, are we letting out the darkness, or are we letting out the light? Because we can censor ourselves. We cannot control anyone else. We can't tell anyone else what they can or can't say or think, but we can tell ourselves. And truly, the path to a better life is to see yourself doing good things. And maybe that means holding back the insulting thoughts. Maybe it's withdrawing the criticism when there's no solution available. But I'm working on this myself. Truly, I am committed to becoming less negative and to become more inspiring, not just for me, but for everyone. I think that's what our world needs is more positivity, more encouragement. Through more positivity, more encouragement, we can have more trust. And as we have more trust, we can grow in our experiences. We won't be so afraid of trying new things. We won't be so afraid of failing because we know we're living at a time unlike others. And brothers and sisters, the way all the signs I've seen, I am so excited for where 2025 may lead. And we're already here.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It is exciting. I was in a panel chat recently where the main takeaway, there was a bit of, I don't know, gossip. Jerry Springer effect is what I like to call it. But their main takeaway was that they said this: never trust anyone. And that was their main takeaway from the message. And I thought, good God, really? That's the way you think? It's well known that he who does not trust enough will never be trusted. And so if people are not trustworthy, obviously you should be a little wary of them, but we have to extend these great virtues that you mentioned over and over again. First and foremost, the kindness, the sincerity, and we're going to get slapped in the face over and over again. But what did the great master tell us? Just turn the other cheek, Obviously, again, ultimately the bullwhip must come out at some point, but we've got to give people opportunities and second chances. And I know you do that, Jack. And I know you're living the dream, you're living the message, and stay centered in that, stay rooted in that. And sometimes these guys who just never take a chance to breathe, and like the original message of your show, they don't even come in with I know they're coming with like real deep rooted background and they've got an axe to grind, but for Christ's sake, bury the hatchet at some point. Come forward with a message of positivity, and again, a little bit of wind in your sails isn't going to hurt anyone. Either you're an enabler or a disabler, and I'm not going to stand as a gate guard against a fellow brother who's trying to bring forward a positive message. I think that's an error, and so you have my support, Jack, and Hank as well. Hank, I know that a lot of people misunderstand you and they misrepresent you, and again, you guys have a much longer history than I do. I'm very new to the scene. But I certainly appreciate your flair, and I appreciate your ability to sit back and try to sort through all of the nonsense to the best of your ability, and then add value to the conversation in some positive way. And keep doing that, man, because that really helps out.
Yes. So, yeah, people who misunderstand, misrepresent me, they kept their narrative, but somehow they're being marginalized, even though they say I'm a bad communicator and don't understand what's going on here. So just think about that. They're the ones being pushed to the margins, and I'm still going to every panel I went.
Frank, thank you. Thank you for being that good example as well. Highlighting the positivity, being a voice of encouragement, because you're walking what you're saying. And I see you too. I see the wisdom and the positivity and encouragement that you've been sharing on your channel as well. So yeah, for those who haven't found Frank, I'll do a little promotion. Check him out. Sincerely. We have Stephen here now. Stephen.
King Stephen. Hello.
Queen
How are
Stephanie,
you?
welcome.
Oh, here's the disrespectful Frank.
Well, I'm disrespectful.
I'm here. You're interrupting me. You've had a long time to talk.
Oh,
can you give somebody else a chance to say something?
Stephen, let's not start with a victim badge.
It's not victim. I'm here to give a message. I heard something. Frank Monday's in trouble now with the communist government
go fuck
of China.
Yourself, Stephen. You're so full of shit, and that's such an incorrect and inaccurate message. You have nothing to say to me on that level. Here's what's going on, Jack. He's trying to vilify me, and he's trying to say that he wants to get the Chinese after me. For what? For my YouTube presence? I've been in China a long time, 25 years now, and I have a big presence here, and I'm well known in many communities, and am not worried about anything. I've never done anything wrong. I'm a good man. But he's his main intent is to say, "Oh, I've got the Chinese after you at your school. You're a high school teacher. They're gonna get you." It's like, who the fuck are you and what are you doing, Queen Stephanie?
I don't know. I don't know, but the Chinese or business people, I don't know how he's going to get anyone to do anything if he doesn't manage the money in the contracts correctly. We already demonstrated on this very show that King Stephen doesn't have the liquidity to get anything done. So, nothing to worry about.
Why try to vilify an innocent person anyway? And for one thing, he doesn't even speak our language.
That's the key.
Yes, he doesn't speak your language, and he doesn't speak Mandarin, and he doesn't speak Chinese business people, which is very different.
If you'll allow me for just a second, Jack, I'd like to respond to him since he said he was bringing forward a message. I just want to respond with a couple of short sentences in our native tongue over here, if that's okay with you.
Please.
Yeah. So Queen Stephanie, for you, 你他妈的你混蛋！你觉得你在这儿可以干什么？你神经病！你以为你有力量？你过来一会儿哈，我们可以敲坐。你他妈的混蛋啊！And sorry for that. I'll switch back.
I understood a couple of things said, but yeah,
I'll switch back into the Christian language.
Yes. So even if he did understand, you can talk to Chinese people in their business language too, but he clearly doesn't understand that because he has no understanding how business works. So he doesn't have traction in here on this show or in China.
Yeah, he doesn't understand anything about our world over here. And go ahead, Jack. Thank you.
Well, I was agreeing not as much about the fact he doesn't know the language. He's out of his fucking mind. He doesn't know what is and is not appropriate. And Frank, I'm sorry to hear that. There's people who've reached out to me when he started associating himself with me and I was tolerating him around. People reached out to me. He's got a long track record, a lot of evidence of harassment. So I wouldn't be overly concerned because he's clearly
No, I'm not.
Cool.
I'm not.
Yeah.
And I'm well established. So yeah. Nobody cares about fucking YouTube. It's got nothing to do with anything over here.
Right. This is what I've been learning. The social experiment that is broadcast each day on these YouTube streams, mine included. It's a demonstration of humanity. There are some egoic, seriously delusional fools looping on the same bad attitudes day after day after day, just generous with the negativity, generous with the hurt. That's not me. It's never been me, despite the reputation and the rumors against me.
That's right. And back to the Aristotelian idea that excellence displays itself day in and day out. And I think one of the main things that people have with Hank is that he's a human being and he takes a moment to contemplate and consider and reflect and does everything that human people do, whereas they ideate on this level of just aggressive assault constantly, right? And they don't take a moment to back off and think, is what I'm doing, is it even right or correct or kind or human in any way? And they totally miss the point of nourishing the heart. Like your message, every day you're trying to bring forward a positive, pure message and you go about it with the same intention and you get mixed results, but you deal with them the way you deal with them. And I think you do well. And he doesn't have any fangs. He's not really willing to dig deep. So I'm not worried about that pansy.
Yeah. So there's a strong possibility that I'm far more evil than those guys. But at least I'll think about my actions before I do them, so to get the best outcome still. They don't even do that.
Do you speak Chinese, Hank?
Not really. I can pick up a good word because I talk to some Chinese people, but I'm not that good at it. I wouldn't say I speak Chinese.
Ni hao ma. Good fun.
Yep.
Yeah, so Jack, one of the things you're learning in all of this ability to moderate and control and sort through things is that some of the chaos and static and distractions around you, you'll have to tune out quite a bit of it, right? As you move forward to bigger and greater platforms, there will be more and more distractions, and you'll have to become more and more single focused on your own God endowed virtue of sincerity and genuineness and bringing forward your message and cutting through the static, as it were. So stay strong, be strong in spirit, and maintain your fortitude.
Thank you, brother. We are living an adventure. I was considering my adventure earlier today. The past 7 years, I mean, my life has transformed completely. The outer life and the inner life are totally different than what they used to be. Sorry, I got distracted by some of the happenings in the chat. I'm not sure what was going on.
Yeah, synthesize it. What did you learn?
Oh, well, 2018, that was my year of rebirth and transformation. From that year, I totally transformed my physical health, my everything changed that year. I also traveled a lot that year. So 2018 was probably one of the most adventurous years of my entire life. But every year since, I haven't left my community in a while. This trip tomorrow, it'll be the first plane trip I've taken in quite a while, I think. And so I haven't really left town, still wearing the same meat suit. I'm still in the same shelter, still driving the same car. But man, my life has been a mental and emotional adventure. It's been glorious and scary and frightening and all things, but
Awesome. Are you gonna take a break from your show for a couple of days, or are you gonna try to do it on the road from your cell phone?
I may try tomorrow. But Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I think, well, they're scheduled like 12-hour days. It's pretty long and intense training. So I don't expect to have much to share those days.
Excellent.
Yeah, and it's not long. It's just a couple of days. Stay focused
Yeah.
on deriving all of the benefit you can from it and being a benefit and adding value.
That's the key. That's my hope. Thank you, Frank.
So Tommy, here's your chance to take over the time slot and give us the real Christianity the way you interpret it, the zebra Christ. So go ahead. You have 3 days to steal all Jack's audience. The time is ticking.
It
Yeah,
is.
that's not gonna happen.
We can
Hey.
we can always dream.
Everything's up for grabs, and there's many people who want me gone so they can find satisfaction with at least a few days. But I do feel like maybe time to start wrapping up.
Yeah, I feel complete. Um,
Thank you.
I'm ordering a debate on Friday, 7:30 Eastern, as far as I know, between the Machine Lies and Teriok on Free Will, and also Machine Lies is expecting an ambush on technology. I'll get something ready for him, and what else? I may be roasting zebra tomorrow again. I haven't decided yet.
Well, I hope something works through for him, and I hope you enjoy what you're doing either way. Thank you for joining, Hank.
Thank you
Blessing.
for having me on.
All right. Frank, thoughts from you, brother?
Yeah, thank you for bringing forward once again, a positive message and trying to be a light in the community to disperse some of this darkness and chaos that we're surrounded with. And I genuinely apologize for getting inflamed, but Queen Stephanie has been yapping at my heels, and I try to launch into a good transmission and he shows up and I give him an opportunity thinking maybe I'll get the personality where he's a little more philosophical and a little more engaging, but he's chosen just to stay on the side of indicatives. I forget the word exactly, but it's not any kind of fun. And I know you do your best to tolerate these obnoxious, odious, cumbersome things that occur in your life as well. I'm not going to point any fingers at anyone, but I appreciate your resilience and much love to you, brother. And looking forward to seeing you on the other side of your trip. And as the old pirate parrot would say, wind in your sails. Godspeed to you, Jack, and know that you're beloved by many in the community. And so thank you for that.
Frank, blessings to you, brother. I'm going to toss you to the back. And sincerely, you're welcome to share your link. I'm pretty sure you're able. So the positive recognition you shared, Frank, that is what I've learned. I've recognized that in you. You see the light because that's the light you are. And I trust that's what the goals that you're sharing, those are things that you embody. You care about creating a better life, being the brightness for your family, for your workplace, for wherever you are. That is why we're here. And I trust in some crazy things. Like I trust some crazy peoples. I learned to trust me. Man, well, I earned my trust. I know the things I've been through. I know the things that I do. I know the things that I think. I know the things that I feel. And so I do trust me. Where was I running with that? You can trust in you when you become true to you, not just you, the aspect of you that is within everyone. It's time for us to start living the life of our dreams. And the life of our dreams, it's where we are. Everyone's dream is different. The life of my dream is where we are all able to go where we want, when we want, with whoever we want. We'll all be able to travel wherever we want and know that wherever we go, there will be other people there who want to see us cared for. Not necessarily to do everything for us, but to make sure that we're safe, to show us some of the great cultures, some of the great happenings, some of the great things about this world we share. Because, brothers and sisters, we're here to live the adventures of life. The routines create comfort. The comfort creates the opportunity for routines. But life is about adventures. We get this one life to live and create the memories. We're going to carry these memories with us into hell or heavens. So trust with the eternal life. Align with the truth of God now to start experiencing yourself beyond time, beyond the limits of form and the confinements of space. Allow yourself to grow into the infinite potential of who you might be. Because, brothers and sisters, I believe we are. We are who was sent to this world to discover and share and create life that had never been imagined before, life that had never been created before, life that had never been discovered before. It is you. It is me. We are that. And if I'm right, things are coming together. And in the near future, we will find a way for the world to say, praise God. For the day has come where the truth is no longer denied, where the truth is abided, where the truth reigns supreme in our lives, then we can know the truth of God's love. That's what happened with me. That's what happened with me when I started placing the truth as the supreme ruler over me. I'm humble to the truth. I'm generous with the truth. I don't want to withhold. I don't want to deceive. I don't want to manipulate. I want to align with the truth. And the more I sought to align with the truth that God could allow me to learn, the more love I started to feel and to know. And to me, love is the way. Again, I could keep going on, but I feel it's time to wrap up. Sincerely, with my appreciation to all of you. Please do the subscribe thing, invite others. Let's help this to grow. And until next time, choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. Thank you again. God bless us all. Peace.